Manny Pacquiao is back in the headlines at 46 years old. The former 8th Division world champion is officially training for a comeback to professional boxing. His opponent? Mario Barrios, a younger, active fighter with a title on the line. What set the internet on fire was a short training clip that recently surfaced online. In it, Pacquiao moves with surprising speed, throws powerful punches, and showcases footwork that fans thought they'd never see again. The reaction has been mixed. Some fans are thrilled. Others are skeptical, asking, is this real or just hype? The clip spread like wildfire. You can see Pacquiao hitting the mitts at full speed, looking sharp, focused, and dangerous. It's enough to make people wonder, is Manny truly back? Or is this his final attempt to grab the spotlight one last time? No one knows how this fight will play out. But one thing is certain, people are watching and everyone's talking.
Trunks trimmed with flames, as the boxing senator he is fighting out of it, proudly representing the Serengeti.
Wearing white trunks trimmed with blaze, the legendary boxing senator is back. Proudly fighting out of Serengeti, Manny Pacquiao makes his shocking return. After his 2021 loss to Hordian's Gas, most believed Pacquiao boxing days were over. He stepped away from the ring, turned to politics, and even ran for president of the Philippines. For many, that was the end of an era. But now, out of nowhere, he's lacing up the gloves again, and the world is watching.
Impossible can happen if it is ordained by the Lord.
That chapter of Pacquiao life looked closed. But now, at 46, he's preparing to fight again.
Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July.
This isn't just another exhibition. It's a WBC-sanctioned bout, with a real title on the line, against a younger, active fighter, Mario Barrios.
Down to his knees in pain. Velasco.
Mario Barrios.
English rewrite, it's the kind of high-risk fight that most retired champions avoid. But Pacquiao has never followed the usual path. His 2024 exhibition against DK reminded fans of his trademark footwork and speed, but the stakes back then were low.
Look at Barrios. The first one wasn't there, but the second one wasn't there either. But yeah, it would have been a different fight.
Yep, Thurman still with the
English rewrite. Now, the risk is real. If Pacquiao wins, it could go down as one of the greatest late-career comebacks in sports history. If he loses, critics will say he should have stayed retired. Barrios isn't just a rising prospect. He's a former world champion with a style that could pose serious problems. Pacquiao will have to face youth, height, reach, and relentless pressure. And unlike exhibitions, there's no pulling punches here. This is full contact, sanctioned boxing. Many believe Pacquiao is taking too big a gamble. But for him, this isn't about money. It's about ending his story on his own terms. The leaked training footage shows flashes of the old Manny. Lightning-fast combinations, sharp footwork, and clean angles. It may not be enough, but he's clearly not just going through the motions. He's training with real purpose. And that's why people are paying attention. Not because they're convinced he'll win, but because it's Manny Pacquiao. And when he steps into the ring, anything can happen.
Mario got the win. How do you feel about your performance?
I felt right about it. The eye, it made it hard to get my rhythm, to get my range down. But of course, I'm gonna stay in there.
So who is Mario Barrios? Barrios isn't just a name on a fight poster. At 28 years old, he's already a two-time world champion with a professional record of 29 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, most of those wins coming by knockout. He's tall for a welterweight, aggressive, confident, and dangerous. Barrios began his career at 130 pounds and gradually moved up in weight. He won his first world title at super lightweight and later stepped into the ring with the likes of Gerona Davis.
Right hand to the body by Barrios.
We'll take a look here at the knockdown. This is that.
Although he lost
Although Barrios lost his high-profile bout with Jerona Davis, he showed heart and power. Since then, he's only gotten stronger, both physically and mentally. In 2023, he bounced back with wins over Giovanni Santiago and Raja Bhatia. His draw against Abel Ramos raised a few eyebrows, but many still consider him a top contender. Barrios fights tall, uses his jab effectively, and throws in high volume. He's not the slickest defensive fighter, but once he gets momentum, he becomes dangerous. One key factor? Activity. Barrios has been consistently fighting, sharpening his tools in real bouts. Pacquiao, on the other hand, has been away, involved in politics and low-stakes exhibitions. That gap in ring activity could make all the difference on fight night. Some fans believe Pacquiao's legendary speed and experience will carry him through. But others see Barrios as too young, too fresh, too active. A fighter who could overwhelm Manny the way Hordian's Ugas did, with timing, reach, and relentless pressure. Barrios has publicly said he respects Pacquiao, but he's not here for a farewell tour. He sees this as a chance to take out a legend and add a major name to his resume.
The Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed you that, he is a great fighter, but, I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as that.
If Pacquiao underestimates Barrios for even a single round, it could turn into a very long night. Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to pro boxing at 46 has ignited intense debate across the boxing world. Some hail it as a final chapter to an iconic career, a testament to his enduring legacy. They remember how he shocked the world by beating Keith Thurman at age 40 to claim the WBA welterweight title, proving age was just a number. These supporters argue that Pacquiao's experience, speed, and ring IQ still pose real problems for younger fighters like Barrios. They point to his rigorous training and believe he's serious about retiring as a WBC champion, on his own terms.
Well, I'm not the kind of boxer of talkers. He's just promoting the fight. And then I think we did a lot of the things. He did his best, and I did my best.
But critics aren't so sure. They question whether it's wise for a 46-year-old to return to full-contact boxing. They cite his 2021 loss to Hordian's Gas and his recent exhibition against Yukiya Apo, where Pacquiao appeared to struggle against a far less experienced opponent. Promoter Ben Shalom has voiced concern, too. He's warned of the potential health risks involved and suggested that Pacquiao consider staying retired to preserve his long-term well-being.
Yes, he was released, PBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was the flyweight WBC, and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Some critics argue that granting a title shot to a retired fighter like Manny Pacquiao sets a troubling precedent, one that undermines the merit-based structure of professional boxing. Inside the boxing world, opinions are sharply divided. Some analysts believe Pacquiao's experience and ring IQ could give him a legitimate edge. Others argue that the physical toll of the sport, especially at age 46, may simply be too much to overcome. As the fight approaches, the debate is heating up. Social media has exploded with commentary, ranging from admiration for Pacquiao's courage to deep concern about the consequences of returning to elite competition at his age. These polarized reactions reflect a much bigger discussion about risk, legacy, and the evolving standards of modern boxing. A Pacquiao win would cement his place as one of the greatest fighters of all time, and possibly inspire a wave of retired legends to consider their own comebacks. A loss, however, could damage his legacy and raise serious questions about the role of sanctioning bodies like the WBC in allowing older fighters back into title contention. The decision to greenlight this bout has already sparked intense scrutiny of the criteria used for title shots, and the fine line between honoring legends and protecting their well-being. Manny Pacquiao's return isn't just a comeback. It's a high-stakes gamble with implications that go far beyond one fight. Mario Barrios, 29, is the reigning WBC welterweight champion. With a record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, he's already shared the ring with elite names like Jerona Davis and Keith Thurman. Though his recent draw against Abel Ramos was a minor setback, a win over Pacquiao would catapult his reputation and potentially set the stage for future unification bouts.
Pacquiao's insane 10-punch combo.
Yep. Goes to the flurry again. Yep. Goes to the flurry.
For Pacquiao, a win would be historic, further solidifying his legacy as one of boxing's all-time greats. But a loss could cast a shadow over everything he's built. For Barrios, defeating a legend like Pacquiao would be career-defining, a moment that validates his championship status and elevates his place in the sport. But this fight is about more than just titles. It's a challenge to the norms of age, performance, and comeback stories in combat sports. The result could reshape how boxing, and its fans, view aging champions. The matchup raises questions. Should boxing organizations sanction fights involving aging icons? How much risk is too much? This is more than a clash of styles. It's a showdown of legacy versus longevity and of greatness versus time.
Occurs, the brain hits the bone wall, sometimes doing so several times depending on the severity of the blow.
Let's look at the scenarios. If Pacquiao wins, it will be one of the most remarkable achievements in modern boxing, becoming WBC welterweight champion again at 46. That would make him one of the oldest champions in history and a living symbol of how experience and willpower can overcome youth and time. It would also fulfill Pacquiao's personal mission, retiring as WBC champion, a belt he first won decades ago at flyweight. It would prove his incredible longevity and his ability to compete across weight classes at the highest level. A victory could open the door to massive future bouts, perhaps even another pay-per-view super fight. From a promotional standpoint, it could be a dream scenario. It would also reaffirm Pacquiao's place in boxing's pantheon, not just as a legend but as a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. But if he loses, it could be a painful end to a glorious career. A defeat might lead critics to say he stayed too long, that he chased one last moment and paid the price. It could raise serious concerns about fighter safety and the toll that combat sports take on aging athletes. Most of all, it could change how we remember Manny Pacquiao, not just as a champion but as a man who took one final risk, with everything on the line. A loss for Manny Pacquiao wouldn't just be a blow in the ring. It could spark wider questions about the responsibilities of boxing organizations in allowing aging legends to fight for world titles. As a global public figure and former senator, Pacquiao's decisions carry weight beyond boxing. Critics may question his judgment and priorities, especially if the outcome is unfavorable. For Mario Barrios, however, this fight represents the ultimate opportunity. Defeating a legend like Pacquiao would be a defining moment, one that validates his reign as WBC welterweight champion and cements his place among boxing's elite. It would catapult his profile, unlocking unification fights, bigger paydays, and a broader fan base. A victory on this stage would also prove Barrios' ability to handle pressure under the bright lights, showcasing his poise, skill, and toughness. Sponsors would come calling. Headlines would follow. He'd become not just a fighter but a role model, proof of what hard work and resilience can achieve. But what if Barrios loses, especially to a 46-year-old Pacquiao? It could raise serious doubts about his readiness to dominate at the highest level. Critics might question his preparation, his game plan, even his mental toughness. A loss could derail his momentum and stall his rise, forcing him into a rebuilding phase to restore confidence and credibility. Promoters and sponsors often chase fighters on the upswing, and a defeat to a much older opponent could hurt his appeal in future big-name bouts. To bounce back, Barrios would need to show resilience, make adjustments, and prove he still belongs among the sport's best. This bout isn't just a test for Pacquiao. It's a career-shaping moment for Mario Barrios. As the world waits for this showdown, it's clear, this is more than a fight. It's a turning point for both men, with the power to rewrite narratives and shift boxing's future. What comes next? Following this high-stakes clash, both fighters face very different paths. At 46, Manny Pacquiao's return has already stunned the world, a testament to his passion and fighting spirit. But boxing isn't his only battlefield. He's officially announced his candidacy for the Philippine Senate in the 2025 elections, aligning with the Marcos administration under the Promdi Party. He's also set to be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in June 2025, immortalizing his unprecedented achievements across 8 weight classes. While Pacquiao hasn't confirmed any bouts beyond Mario Barrios, his time advisor, Sean Gibbons, has hinted at possible future fights, depending on Manny's health, form, and desire. For now, all eyes remain on May 2025. Mario Barrios, the road ahead at 29. Mario Barrios is entering the prime of his career. As WBC welterweight champion, he's already expressed interest in unification bouts, aiming to solidify his status and climb the welterweight ladder. Possible opponents include Virgil Ortiz Jr., Cody Crowley, and the unified champ, Jaron Boots Ennis, names that could define the next era of the division. Despite a split draw against Abel Ramos, Barrios has shown grit and growth. Every title defense sharpens his reputation. Every round is a chance to prove he's more than a rising star. He's the real deal. As their journeys unfold, Pacquiao and Barrios remain at the heart of boxing's most compelling storyline, one rooted in legacy, youth, risk, and reward. So what do you think? Is Pacquiao's comeback a bold final chapter or a dangerous gamble? Has Barrios proven he's ready to carry the welterweight division? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth boxing coverage.